Labor has always been the voice of the people and the voice of working Americans. And labor fights hard for fairness and allows everyone to earn their way into the middle class and to live the American dream. And people who fight against labor are wrong. And they don't understand how important it is to have a voice, to have that ability to bargain collectively, to amplify your voice by being part of a union. And it's really part of our democracy. And so what we have to do, Greg, is just fight harder and make sure those voices are heard.
Do you see anything possible or any optimism that NYCHA, New York City public housing in general, will get more funding?
Well, it's a huge issue because a lot of our public housing doesn't have the resources they desperately need to meet the needs of the people they support. And so I'm going to personally fight for more funding in this year's appropriation process and try to tell their stories. There's a lot of funding streams that don't work well for public housing. For example, when the states get money for homelessness to alleviate those kind of issues, they don't even count domestic violence victims in those numbers. They don't count them as homeless. And so one of the things I'm going to do is that I've actually already done is I wrote a letter to Secretary Castro asking him to please change how they count homelessness and include all these families suffering from domestic violence, because then more resources would come to us to provide for those families. So I will be an advocate for more funding, and you just sometimes have to figure out what are the best ways to do that. And so I'm going to try those two approaches.